everybody. This is a fishing trip I've done in June. This is a local gravel pit in Norfolk. It's not very big, it's about an acre and a half, something like that, maybe 2 acres. And yeah, there's bream, tench, carp, roach rod, perch, the usual suspects in there. And this is, we're targeting bream on this trip. And yeah, we're using the method feeder with a mix and fishing sweet corn. So I hope you enjoy.
Fish there. It's certainly hanging. Oh, this is. It's not got a lot of life in them. Slack line bite. No, they've got a nice bream or something. Beautiful fish. What about that? What about that? Life left in it, didn't there? Where's the fucking storage gun? That's good, isn't it? Then we can't find the fucking distorter. There it is. That's it. That's it. There you go, boys. Yeah, I don't know what to do about him. Yeah, I ain't gonna put him in there. Covered in slime now. giant roach or a rudd or something. Ooh. That's a decent one, isn't it? Come on, you'll be right, mate. I won't bother putting him in the keep net, I don't think. There he is, he's done. Cool, yeah. What the hell is that? That's a fucking monster. Absolute monster. Look at that. Cool, yeah. Fish line. Back he goes. Quickly. Back he goes. Oh yeah. Ugh. Like a torpedo. Oh. Oh. Oh dear.
Yeah, so we're using size 16 hooks here. I think they're from Drennan, and we're putting on the sweet corn with a hair rig. We're using either one bit of sweet corn or putting on two. We're firing out a little bit of loose feed as well. I haven't fished here for years, so I sort of didn't really know sort of how weedy it was. This is that and the other, so just focused on an area out in front and just kept fishing the baits in this roughly the same sort of area. And that way you build up a load of ground bait in a certain area and wait for the fish to move in, so to speak. So yeah, it's just this is using the Guru method feeder. You can use this an ordinary swim feeder, but this is just a very quick and easy rig to assemble, and the ground bait I got is suited to this particular rig. I think it's the Sensor 3000 method mix. It's very, very good stuff. Very bindy. You just whack it on, which I'm doing now. And yeah, like I say, just focus on an area about 20 metres out in front of me, and I'm just putting the rod side by side there, just building up the bait sort of thing, and casting fairly regular. Cast each rod every sort of 5 minutes, so to speak. Probably leave that a little bit longer if you've got 2 bits of sweet corn on there. As long as you've got some bait, and you can bung in some other bits of feed as well. Got a cordia crusher there, and something like bung in a bit of loose feed as well, just to sort of attract them. And yeah, this was I mean for me it fishes these sort of gravel pits fish well early in the morning. So you've got to be up bright and early. I've got a keep net there, but the bigger fish I sort of didn't put in there because I don't like to keep them cooped up all day, so to speak. And, just kept food little roach in there, bits and pieces. But I sometimes use this keep net as a rod rest. There's a little groove in the top there, and I lay the rod on top of there. Just saves me carrying an extra rod rest, But yeah, I mean, you can change over the hook lengths on the Guru method feeder quite quickly, and I put on a band, size 14 or size 16 with a band, and can fish the pellets. Got some robin reds in there. Had some ringers in there, 4-6 mil. I think I had sort of 8 mils in there, some halibut pellets, and I've got some bullies in there. Just looking to cast at the same area. Yeah, so all in all, it's good day's fishing. Right guys, so that's the Guru Method feeder with the Sensor 3000 on it. You can see I'm fishing a pellet, and it's just sitting there on top. And you literally just cast that out. Remember, don't try and whack it too hard. You want to leave plenty of line from the rod tip down to the actual method feeder. You want to leave plenty of line. So you almost just sort of lob it, not sort of having it short and you're whacking it, because you don't want all that ground bait to come flying off. It is quite sticky, this stuff. But as soon as it hits the water, that all just sort of starts to disperse. But I'm looking for an area just off those lily pads there, or just in front of it. I think I actually pull this one to the left a little bit. You can't always get perfection in the time, but you look to line up with this sort of fishing, building up the ground bait in the same area. You look to line up with something on the other side, whether it's a tree, lilies, or whatever. So I just lob this out, I leave it a bit down, and you'll find I don't really whack it. I just lob it high. I lob it high, and then it splashes there. Now for me that's a bit over to the left. You can't always, but the next time I cast my second rod, I can bring it back into the same area, so to speak. But there was a little bit of weed here. I was bringing a little bit of weed, but the fish were there as well. So to mitigate the weed, you can fish a swim feeder with a long hook length. Instead of having a short 4-inch or a 10-inch one, you can have one about sort of 1.5 to 2 foot with a swim feeder. And so that gets away from the silt and stays up above the weed a little bit. Just a thought. I am fishing braid on the far right rod, the little rod there. That's got braid on, 8-pound braid, but from Berkeley Fireline. Very good bite detection. On the rules for this fishery, mentions nothing about braid, so I decided to use it. It's good for bite detection. Some fisheries dislike it, probably because it can, when it does get in a tangle, it does get in a bit of a tangle. It's not healthy for the fish and all this, that, and the other. So, but I do use it when I can use it, because it's one of my favourites. Right guys, so when you're selecting a swim, and during the day, I mean, it's like if you're struggling to find bites from your designated area where you've decided to keep casting your baits and building up your ground bait, you can actually just fish one in close. You can try that as an option. Just sort of handball some bait in. Just throwing it out there. There's you can try different things during the day.
Yeah, so that was just a classic slack line bite. Struck into it fairly solid, and nice bream there. Straight sweet corn on sort of Sensor's ground bait, bream ground bait. So yeah, all we're using is the method feeder. I'm just binding it on. It's ever so sticky. It just flies off. I'm just trying to cast in the same spot, near as bugger it. But the key to good sort of freshwater fishing is early mornings, and sort of there's a spell in the evening as well. During the day, it just slows up a bit. You can still catch during the day, but I mean in the afternoon, when the sun's high, you can still catch, but that does go off. I usually fish from sort of daylight till about 1 in the afternoon and then call it a day. But if you want to go for an evening spell, usually as the sun starts going down, that ain't too bad either. Oh, God, didn't know I had that. Tiny little rod or a roach or something. There's another slack line is what we need. Right guys, so we've got the, on the far left rod, we've got a 6mm pellet on, robin red, on a method feeder, 4-inch hook length. It's about a size, I think it's a size 16 hook on that with a band on it. Avon quiver tip rod, 1¼ pound test curve. So I've just whacked that out because the fishing has slowed a little bit. And inside rod is my 10-foot feeder rod, carp feeder. So we're just fishing sweet corn on that, and we're fishing robin reds pellets on these ones here. Just mixing it up a little bit, and we're just trickling in a little bit of bait as well as on top of the ground bait in the method feeder. So that's pretty much it. And we've had about I think I've had about 4 reasonable roach and I've had 1 bream. So I don't know how long I've been here. I've probably been here an hour and a half, 2 hours, something like that, getting on for now. So let you know how I get on. Roach.